These three stages produced three world orders. In stage one, a day like a year, the world experienced Pax Britannica, Britain ruling the world, and the sterling pound as the international currency, and Britain ruling the sea. And then came stage two, which is Pax Americana, America ruling the world, and the US dollar as the international currency, and America ruling the sky. And I've argued that Pax America cannot last forever. It'll have to end. 15 years ago I said the US dollar has to collapse. Where did I get that knowledge from? Well, they laughed at me at that time, they're not laughing anymore now. I am not a prophet. No. I didn't have some angel or jinn whispering to me. No. No. It was my analysis of the Quran and the Ahadith that led me to that conclusion. I came to the conclusion that we are now located at the time when America's time is coming to an end. Pax Americana is ending, and a third ruling state will have to emerge to replace America. And we now have Pax Judaica, I call it, Israel ruling the world. And therefore, we must have a new money to replace the US dollar. They laughed at me. But now the US dollar, the last time I heard, was in ICU. ICU, Intensive Care Unit in the hospital. And it is likely within the next few months perhaps that the US government is going to demonetize the US dollar, meaning it can no longer be used as legal tender. You cannot use it to buy and sell. And so they'll have to have something to replace the US dollar. That replacement is already here. I just realized it a couple of months ago. Electronic money has already taken over. The vast majority of the big money transactions in the world are all electronic. And the paper money used for only micro transactions. So they're going to have to replace the paper money with something tangible. I don't know what it's going to be. But Israel controls the banking system in the world. So Israel effectively controls money in the world. And so Israel is now emerging as the third and last ruling state in the world. We told you why Israel wants to rule the world. We don't have to repeat that. But in order for Israel to rule the world, Israel will have to rule the Arabs, because she's surrounded by the Arabs. And this is where we come to the reality of the subject of an Islamic view of the current Arab uprisings. I want to end this part of the topic by suggesting to you that no one can penetrate that reality other than those who approach the subject from the perspective of Islamic eschatology. And we're the only ones who have the Quran. The destruction of the Arabs is part and parcel of the drama with which Israel will become the ruling state in the world. And the sign that the time has come is when the world becomes filthy, khabas. But there's another timeline connected with Gog and Magog. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that when Gog and Magog are released, the first of them will pass by the Sea of Galilee on the way to Jerusalem, to the Arab world, and start to drink the water. And by the time the last of them pass, and therefore the slaughter of the Arabs is now at hand, they will say there used to be water here. What is the water level in the Sea of Galilee? Answer: the water level is now so low that the Sea of Galilee in the Holy Land is effectively dead, cannot be revived. Just waiting now to dry up. And so the time for the slaughter to take place has arrived. Israel needs to control the Arab world. But there are too many Arabs. How can you control all those Arabs all around you? So many. The Prophet said, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, that the Arabs will be wiped out by plague, meaning biological warfare. Did you hear about swine flu? And people put on masks? You had it here in KL? You heard about H1N1? Well, these are signs of things to come. Biological warfare. And the Arabs are going to be wiped out. Prophecy of Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. But Israel must also expand its territory. Dramatical expansion. Why? Because someone rewrote the Torah with their own hands and said that the Holy Land extends from the river of Egypt, the river Nile, to the river Euphrates. That is not true, that is false. But it is there in the Torah. So no Jew will accept Dajjal as the Messiah unless and until Israel's territory expands to encompass this entire area from the river of Egypt to the river Euphrates. This portion means you got to wage war on Egypt. You have to wage war on Egypt in order to expand your territory to the Nile. How are you going to wage war on Egypt? And the world recognizes you as an aggressor, an oppressor. That's not nice. Rather, you must wage war on Egypt and make it appear that you are fighting a terrorist state. Do I need to continue the lecture now? Or have you understood? I don't need to continue the lecture anymore. Make it appear that you are waging war against terrorism. That Egypt has become a terrorist state. And that you have to defend yourself. Israel has to defend herself. And so now we can understand why the Egyptian armed forces acted in such a suspiciously docile way. the Egyptian armed forces acted suspiciously docile. Why? Because it's part of a plan. And now, in the months to come, we can expect that there will be free and fair elections. And guess what's going to happen? The Islamic parties are going to win the election, yeah. And the Islamic parties are going to form the government, yeah. And then Israel is going to smile even more. Because once the Islamic government comes to Egypt, what's going to happen with Gaza? Can you imagine? The Islamic government in Egypt will have to support the Muslims of Gaza. Not only political support, but material support. And so Israel is going to say, these missiles now coming are from Egypt. Huh? And Egypt is becoming a state that is supporting terrorism because Hamas has been branded a terrorist organization. And so Israel will get what is known as casus bellum, justification for waging war on Egypt. And when Israel wages that war, then the territory of the state of Israel will expand to reach the river Nile, which means that Israel will take control of the Suez Canal as well. And Israel also has to extend its territory to the river Euphrates, which means the whole of Iraq and Jordan in between. So it's quite convenient to have the United States in control of Iraq already. So now we're beginning to understand that what is happening in the Arab world is part of a big plan. And the big plan comes out of the Torah. The Torah. In order for Israel to wage that big war against the Arabs and to expand its territory dramatically, Israel has to ensure that Muslims do not have any military capacity to threaten and to destroy Israel. There is only one weapon that Israel has reason to fear, and that is nuclear weapons. And the missile capacity to deliver a nuclear weapon. And who has that? Only Pakistan. Only Pakistan. So what they did 10 years ago, and they may have put it on the drawing board 20 years ago. What they did 10 years ago was to tell a big lie. No, sorry, it's more than a big lie. Because there are three categories of lies. There are ordinary lies, and then there's the big lies, and then there's 9/11. 9/11 was crafted to give the Americans and the British and NATO and Israel the opening to destroy Pakistan's nuclear weapons. It's very convenient to have Afghanistan as the location. Some people in a cave in Afghanistan are the ones who send the aeroplanes to attack the World Trade Center. Huh? You believe that? You have peanuts in your head. So that they could occupy Afghanistan. Afghanistan was not the target. No. Afghanistan is only the staging point for the target, which is Pakistan. And they've been waiting these last 10 years for the opportunity to movie,